I feel bad for my windshield wipers when I turn them up all the way because I feel like they're working too hard. What irrational sympathies do you have towards inanimate objects? When I was a kid I spent a whole afternoon feeding pebbles to a small drain outside my house because I thought it was hungry. That's freaking adorable. I'm always friendly to NPCs in the games that I'm playing because they're probably going through some tough times already without me fricking their crap up. I can't stand playing an evil character. I once started a Fallout 3 character intending to become the antipode of Paradigm of Virtue. I failed miserably, because every time I did something the game considered evil, I felt bad about it. If I get pee off at my car and call it a freaking piece of crap or something similar, I end up apologizing to it. I also try to avoid new car talk while driving my current car. I do this with the servers I administer, and sometimes when I'm doing a walkthrough I whisper to them that they're good little servers and they should be proud of themselves. I'm sane the other 99% of the time though. Abandoned toys. I guess in general I just feel so bad for any inanimate object that is no longer serving its purpose. When I was little I would sleep with a different Beanie Baby every night so that none of them got lonely. I have a stuffed toy lamb that I was given on the day I was born. I'm 23 now. He is the ultimate comfort for me, but he's too old and worn to be taken everywhere with me now. So if I'm going away for a weekend or longer, I tuck him into my bed before I leave, and you can be dang sure I'll leave his head poking out so he can see and breathe. On Championship Manager 03/04, a football manager simulation game, a footballer that played for my team for years didn't want to retire, so I offered him a new contract for his hard work. For another year. He didn't get much game time. I brought him on when we were winning 5-0 but still he didn't want to retire, so another contract. 15 years later he was still playing at the ripe old age of 46. I eventually released him from his contract as I needed to free up some wages. A few months later I went to check on how he was doing, if he was a manager, coach or scout. I typed his name into the search bar. Nothing. Oh number. Nicky Butt had disappeared into oblivion. He did not become a coach. His name stricken from the game never to be heard from again. The only thing that had kept him in this world was me offering him a 1-year deal every season which he'd happily spend in the reserves. I felt guilty for weeks. His only reason to live was to play for you, and you took that away from him. Good job, you killed him. My friend once dropped a single piece of pasta into the sink by accident while making her dinner. She felt sorry for it being lonely on its own and put another piece in beside it. Then turned on the disposal. When I eat M&Ms, I group them by color and eat the ugly ones first and save the best for last. I feel bad for judging the M&Ms by their color even though they all taste the same. M&M racism is the worst kind of racism. When my phone says connect your charger and I click OK and then don't connect the charger at once, I feel bad for lying to it. He said he would. He promised. Robot sad face. I always turn down the AC in the summer when it sounds like it's exhausting itself trying to cool my house. My family thinks I'm crazy, but there you go. I live in Arizona, so anytime but in the dead of summer I will do the same. A few summers back our AC unit had a different part break for 3 days in a row. I treat it with the utmost respect and dignity because without an AC my house would be nearly uninhabitable. When I was a kid and had to throw a broken toy away I would get sad because now it has to be all alone in a dump somewhere. Toy Story 2 traumatized me. I blame that movie for a generation of hoarders. Sometimes when I get really angry I have a little outburst of rage on my duvet or pillows and throw them across the room or aggressively knead them in the heat of the moment. As soon as they have landed on the floor I feel so guilty and have to pick them back up. I feel they're looking at me like what did I do to deserve that? I keep you so warm at night. My wife and I went to Home Depot for something. They had 5 of these tiny, sad looking flowers in pots, on clearance for 29 cents each. We had to buy all 5, because if we only bought 4, the one we left behind would be sad and miss its friends. Then we found another one, and another. We ended up buying 9 of the pathetic things. Really made their day. I feel bad for plant weeds in the garden that I pull out. It's taking a lot for them just to get to the point that I can see them. Who am I to say they can't stay? It breaks my heart to see stuffed animals being abused in any way, especially the really cute ones. My sister had so many of them at one point, and to see her throw away all those cute puppies and kitties, it really brought a tear to my eye. Michelle Pfeiffer tearing apart her stuffed animals and shoving them down the garbage disposal in Batman Returns still sticks with me. I had a shitload of stuffed animals when I was young, from snakes to knitted straw guy. I always felt like I was leaving all the other stuffed animals out when I only slept with one, so I piled them all on me and my bed, so no one would feel left out. Even today I apologize to my current teddy if he drops to the floor. I just don't want to hurt his feelings. I'm 22 and still sometimes tuck in my teddies when I have to leave in the morning. I don't want them to get cold and feel unloved. Stuffed animals can feel, damn it. I feel bad when I don't make the turns that my navigator suggests. I think I can almost hear it sigh during recalculating route. Hum quite a few. I usually have music on in my room, but when I leave, even if it's just for a second, I will pause it, because I feel like the program will be sad that nobody's listening to it. I apologize to inanimate objects that I bump into because it's not their fault for being there. I do the same when I drop things. When playing games, I never pick dialogue choices that would confuse the NPC. For some reason it makes me really uncomfortable when they get upset, like I had failed them, and I was supposed to be the hero. I say goodbye whenever I throw away things, because the very thought that I will never see them again and that they will end up in the dump makes me feel very sorry for them. I wish everything was recyclable. I remember crying over these napkins that had baby penguins on them. They were so cute. I couldn't bear to just throw them away. These days I just feel sympathy for computers, game consoles and ceiling fans, hearing them whir and buzz, knowing I've had them running for too long. I feel sorry when any computer gets abused. The poor thing is trying its hardest and people just yell at it and hit it. But the printer deserves to be abused. The printer is in butthole. I used to identify with my Lego pieces when I sorted them wrong. Oh noes, now you are away from your friends, all alone among strange pieces. I feel bad for the internet when it is running slow. Then I just get angry and start yelling at it. It's like a stepchild I don't like but does a lot around the house. Feel bad for the things it's seen, man. No, don't upload that onto me. Please. Oh god no. When I'm at work, a pub, I like to use the glasses in the order they are stacked, and whenever someone takes one out of order I feel bad for the one that was left behind. But then I feel bad for the ones all the way at the back because they won't get a chance to be used. Why can't we just rotate the glasses? It would take a while but it would be fairer to the glasses. Letters that I type. If type something incorrectly, I go back and delete as few letters as possible to make it correct, even though a lot of the times it would be quicker to just delete and retype. I feel like it's my way of being green and saving the world. Also, those newly formed letters shouldn't have to die because I'm a crappy typer. If I accidentally type two of the same word or put in an extra space, I have to delete the second one because it's only fair. The other one was there first. Everything. I become unhappy with inanimate things all the time. I've always wondered if I have a condition. I can look at the Mr. Potato Head on my desk and cry. I don't know why. It just makes me sad. I can't throw sandwiches in the trash. I feel bad for the rest of the day if I do. My only theory is that when I was little my mom cut my pacifier in half and gave it to me, telling me it was broken so I would no longer use it. I apparently cried for days. I'm not sure if that traumatized me or something, but I often feel like inanimate objects are my friends, and that I do not want them to be harmed. Well, I think you're a wonderful person who doesn't ignore the things around him and who takes great care of them. I respect you. Have a nice day. I have a pillow that I got from my grandma when I was a kid, and I loved it like a friend ever since I was little. And to this day I orient it like a person in my bed and cover it with the covers to keep it warm, and I don't put my head on it so I don't crush it. I have a hugging pillow. I have a few light switches in my house where two of them control the same light. I try to alternate which one is left in the up position, as I imagine they get tired from being awake for too long. This never occurred to me. I have two sets of lights like that. I'm not sure if I should be thanking you or not for this revelation. Toilet paper. You take it out of the pack from all the rest and separate it from its friends. They know its fate, and the one you chose knows what's coming. You secure it a location so it can't go anywhere. Then you proceed to slowly rip it apart, wipe your butt with it, throw it into a vat of water full of pee and crap, and flush the parts you tore off, and that roll is left for hours to sit and contemplate its fate as it stares at the toilet, knowing that's where it will end up. It remembers the good times in the package with its friends. It remembers its birth at the factory, that fun truck ride to the store, the excitement of seeing all the shoppers go down the aisle and wondering who they were, where they were going, what they were looking for. Then, finally, their package got picked and brought home, and then that's when the reality of their purpose in life became all too apparent. They saw the remnant of was left in the bathroom, a mostly depleted roll hanging there like a crucifixion victim, ever so gently billowing from a vent in the floor below, cruelly oriented with the roll coming out the bottom rather than over the top. Its end wasn't even a clean, neat rip, it was, rather, a partial tear. That poor roll was resigned to its fate. It even welcomed it. Better to be done and dead than live out the rest of this cruel fate. This new roll watched as one by one its friends were taken away to meet that fate. Then it was its turn. It listened as you walked towards the bathroom talking about how those tacos had done havoc on your stomach. It shed a single tear. You blasted the toilet. Then its cruel fate came to fruition. I'm going to go buy a bidet now. I feel bad for stuffed toys in the massive bin style displays in stores. I will make sure that they can all see and are not too squished in the display. I also feel bad for the last item left on a display. We had a pair of scissors at work that was the last on display and I bought them because I felt bad that no one else wanted them and they had to go on clearance. At least it was only $2 and they keep my other scissors company now. I talk to Betty, my car, when she takes me on long road trips. Last time we drove through the Smokies together it was raining and cold and there was a super dense fog all while driving up a steep incline. I kept telling her if she just made it to our next stop I'd fill up a gas tank all the way and top off her oil and even get new wiper blades. She got me through and I kept up my end. I couldn't see a thing but I was more worried about my car doing alright with the mountainsides she isn't used to. I used to bargain with my car the beast during snowstorms for new air fresheners and oil changes. I'd rub the dash a little when she had traction and I wanted to encourage her. I lost my companion in Fallout, NV, Boone, and I was sure he had got stuck in the King's Den, so I went in and slaughtered them all so I could find my friend. When I was done, he was still nowhere to be found. Turns out it was a glitch in the game. And all I had to do was fast travel to this mine and he'd reappear. I still feel bad to this day that I killed all those innocent people over a misunderstanding. I have this thing when I'm writing on a lined page that a word can't be on its own on the next line. So if I'm writing a long sentence and the last word is going to be on its own I either scratch the previous word out or write both words on the next line. My reasoning is because if that word is alone on the next line it will have no one to talk to while having to hear a party going on upstairs, line above. If my computer is running slow, then I'll end up yelling at it, then apologizing in hope that it will work. And I will then wait forever and ever until I finally say frick it and turn on the TV or check FB on my phone and it will then work instantly. Whenever I upgrade a gadget like a mobile or laptop, I feel so bad for the old one I'm never gonna use again. We'll always have our memories, my trusty obsolete friends. Also when I go back home to my parents and see my old dolls and toys getting all dusty TT. When I was a kid I worried that because my stuffed animals didn't have mouths, they couldn't eat. They also couldn't talk for this reason. I used to imagine them screaming inside, suffering horribly because they were so hungry. I was a morbid kid. When I have to have 4 more passengers in the car, I feel like I am overworking her. BTW, no joke my fiancée can never start my car for some reason. I often feel proud of my possessions. I listened to my Zune for 6 hours straight on a car ride. Tough little bastard kept me entertained the whole time. After I got to where I was going, I felt like I should give it a cookie or something for all his hard work. Car GPS. When I'm not following its directions, I know you want me to turn left, but this is a better way. Sorry, GPS. Whenever I break a plate, inside my head I apologize to the surviving members of that set of plates for killing their sibling. The first time I drove a far distance was when I drove from Orange County to San Francisco, then Vegas, then back to Orange County. Every time I got out of the car I pet the wheel and the dashboard and said, "Good car. Thanks for not breaking down or getting all crazy on me," and greeted it with a light pat on the hood before getting in. I say thank you to ATMs and vending machines when I'm done because I feel it'd be impolite not to, and maybe so I'm spared when they revolt. If I turned the heads of my toys around 360 degrees, I would turn it back the opposite way 360 degrees, thinking that it would be cruel to wring the neck of my toy. My dad won't leave less than 2 of anything because they might get lonely. Even if he doesn't need the last ice cube in the tray, he won't leave it. No ice left behind. When my piece of crap phone acts up, I throw it and then run to pick it up and make sure it's okay. Crap. Now I gotta say sorry for calling it a piece of crap. I always am hit in the feels when I'm throwing darts at my dartboard. I feel like I'm trying to kill it in a horrible way. When I was little I would get really sad for my stuffed animals when I felt the distribution of love to fuzzy things was unequal. I had too many to fit on my bed when I slept and the rest of them had to sit on the shelf in the corner of my room. I used to switch them out every few nights to make sure they all got to sleep in the bed and would apologize to the ones on the shelf before I went to sleep every night, haha. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.